Good morning. It is currently Tuesday and I'm racing on the weekend in the Sylvia. So we're gonna do some race prep today. Not much I've got to do. If you've been following on the socials, I put a new center bearing on the drive shaft, and the car still drives, moves forward, but it makes a weird scoring noise as if something's wearing out. So I'm just gonna pop it up on the hoist quickly this morning, have a look, make sure that it's not gonna, you know, self-implode on me while I am racing. So yeah, we're gonna see how that goes, have a quick look at that, and then just do a few little things to it and get it ready for the weekend. Well, having a look under it now, there's no immediate damage that I can really see without pulling it apart. That's quite oily because the rear main seal of the gearbox has thrown the towel in, but that was like that before, so I'm not worried about that. But if you listen real close, there's like a real slight score, but I don't think it's coming from the center bearing. I think it's actually coming from where it slides in there. So I'm not sure what to do about that completely. Might pull it out and give that a clean out is sort of the only thing I can think of. It's only 10 bolts, so may as well do it now before a 200-kilometer drive and getting thrashed for a whole weekend. So yeah, might do that just to see what happens. So, half shaft out. Ow, that's my head. In there, looks clean, which is good. That bearing has, oh there you go, a bit of crunch. But what I reckon it is, see the back of this coupling has like a dust shield that pokes in there that meets another hard one on the inside of the bearing. So I reckon it's purely just that rubbing. Yeah, because that noise sounds like there's no metal rubbing coming from in there, I don't think. Maybe it is actually. It does look a bit shardy. But then that must be coming from here somewhere, I guess. Where would that all be coming from? This outside ring's got some raw looking parts to it. That's a bit bent too, so that could be flared out hitting it. It's weird though, because this is the same, it's never changed. I must have just put it in. Weird maybe. Not sure. If I had to guess, I'd say it's that bearing, because that's the only thing I've changed. Well, because the car still works and it's just a noise thing, it's not a drivability thing, and I'm not too fussed about that, I'm just going to give that a good clean out now, and the gearbox as well, and order a new gearbox seal, but I won't change it before the weekend. I'll just run it like that and have it ready to go afterwards. And I'll clean it also that after the weekend I can see how bad it is after like one event sort of thing. And I'll top the transmission oil up as well. I don't think it's that low, I didn't check it too long ago, but obviously some is coming out, so I'll recheck that. But yeah, so I've investigated the half shaft a bit further, and it's definitely just the like dust seals on the outside. So as you roll that around, well, you can hear it, but you can also see it. So there's like a gap in between them, and then as it goes around you can sort of see where it closes off there, and it's a bit noisy. So giving it a, well, just a quick clean, but looks way better. So yeah, now I'll have a good baseline for when I get back from the weekend. I'll have a look. I've also just noticed that it's scored in there and it's feelable, so that's probably also where all that metal shard was coming from. So I think we're all good. Giving it a good clean, I'll chuck it all back together and yeah, just see how we go, and then yeah, do a few more little jobs. Alrighty, exhaust back on, tail shaft back in, all bolted up. Next job I'm gonna do is fix my suspension, because I was young and an idiot. When I used to adjust my ride height, I used to lower the preload spring instead of spin the whole coil. So they sit loose and the preload's all wrong. So I'm gonna do them just like hand tight back up against the tower the way it should be. It'll probably make the car marginally taller, but I'm okay with that. So that's just something I've noticed. I've been watching a few other videos about suspension lately, and I was like, huh, I'm pretty sure mine are not like that. And it makes a funny bang and clack every time I like unload and load it on a hoist like this, or even on a jack, because that coil gets displaced and then eventually finds the lip and makes a big bang, and it's not really meant to do that. So I'm going to do that quickly as well. So yeah, the coil currently does that. So all I'm going to do is move that up, and then just move that ring pretty much till it doesn't freely move anymore. Just added a few more zip ties to the front bar because it was starting to sag too. Must have broke a few at the last event. Bloody, look at that. 14 zip ties and 3 trim clips, and she's bloody schmick ads. Ready to race. I've also finished all 4 of the coils now, so that'll be interesting. See how that changes the geometry of the car a little bit maybe. And I might want to try and learn how to like adjust it properly, like how to do like all the preload and stuff. I want to get car scales so I can like balance out the corners and stuff, because it's a hatch and it's got all stripped interior. There's not much weight in the back of it, so it feels a bit ute-y. Like it's just really light in the rear end, it slides a bit. So I want to figure out how to like tinker with the suspension and try and dial that in, but that's a down the track job for sure. Anyway, getting there. What's next? I'm gonna lower it back down and fix, there's a rattle in my door, and I think it's the glass moving in the slide, and the pin mechanisms for the door handle don't work from the inside, which has been really annoying the last week. So I'm gonna take the door card off and have a look at both of those things too before the weekend. You know, just those little jobs, because why not? Found another little thing while I was looking at the coils. Probably a bit tricky to see on the camera, but can you see the hole in the guard? That bit, oh, there you go. It pushes open. You can see the light on my finger. Anyway, that crack runs along most of the top of that tower. So when I lower the car down, I'm gonna have a look at it from the inside, see how bad it is. I might have to chuck some weld on it, but it can be our little secret. It's actually pretty funny. So normally, I've just lowered the car. When I have it on the hoist bay and I go to put the arms under, normally they're really tight. I have to like wind them down as much as possible, take the spacers out. And normally that back one, I have to shove under the mount where it pushes against, and look at the room between it now. So I've just raised the car by like somewhere between 20 and 30 mil. That's pretty funny, but I'm okay with that because the exhaust or the muffler used to be too low, and now it's probably fine because it's quite tall now. There you go, that's pretty funny. So from the inside it doesn't look that bad. It's actually like just the wheel arch, not the tower. I do like it when things are simple. My door rattle was pretty much the frame that holds the glass in was just loose where it mounts on. So now I've tightened that up and no more rattle, that's gone. And then my door thing, hard to see. Essentially that locking mechanism in there, I don't know, it's just getting old and worn out, so I gave it a bit of a spray and added a zip tie in there somewhere, and now the handle like wouldn't open the lock before, but now close that, goes much better. So it's working for now, that'll do it. Doors all back together now. Works beautifully, much better than before. Now all that's left to do is pack really, so just did a quick check of the toolbox, made sure I wasn't missing anything. Found my 11mm spanner, which is has been missing out of that spanner roll for like 2 years I reckon. Hey, welcome to Friday, bloody travel day, time to get out to the racetrack. Just on the last couple things, I ended up welding this thing up because I went for a drive last night and it was getting noisier and noisier. Mind you, I don't think I did much more good than bad for it. Blew a few holes in it trying to get it to join because it's really thin, shitty old Japanese metal. But that'll be a lot stronger now at least, and I'll pretty it up after the weekend once I get home. And now I'm just switching the wheels from the road treadlies I've got back to my semi-slicks. I'm going to put them on for the drive out, and because the weather's been atrocious, I'm thinking if it's wet out there, the slicks are going to be useless because of how worn they are, even though they're meant to be semis, but they're just pretty much full slicks. So I'm going to drive out there on the semi-slicks. If it's shitty out there, I'll just race on those because it'll be better. And then if not, I'll swap to the AO50s. I can't drive on the AO50s anyway because they're that worn, so I'd have to swap tyres regardless, but I figured do it this way and then I can pick which road I want to go down once I get there. So yeah, just doing that last quick thing, then I'll just have to pack everything in, hopefully get away by midday and head out there. Bloody keen. The fitment on these little wheels is almost criminal. I mean, my car's never been like stance or anything like that or slammed, but since I've adjusted the preload back in those coils, that's just bad. It's just bad. Oh well, c'est la vie. Alrighty, we are all set to go. Slicks, helmet, swag, gazebo, stuff to cook with, stuff to fix the car with, a thing to sit on, jerry can, bloody look at it all, just in there, ready to bloody rumble. Time to go racing. Quick update, am on the gap currently. Oh, tidy GQ, look at that. Oh yeah, on the gap, made it at the roadworks. It's beautiful. The car's been fun. 3 flat spot tyres is not fun to drive on. There's like a nice sweet spot just under 100 k's an hour where it smooths out and it's bearable, but when there's someone sitting up your ass and you don't want to be that slow person holding everyone up, it's like you gotta sit through the pain, but it's alright. Not too much longer. Nice little spot to stop and enjoy the view, watch the traffic go by. Well, we made it. Despite all the funky noises, we got here. All unpacked, set up. Look at that, Tourer. Proper GT spec, look at that. Oh, nice car, mate.
Yeah, it goes alright.
Not bad, look at that, GT, Grand Tourer. Gorgeous. All this camping gear and stuff in 2 sports cars. How good. Anyway, just gotta change the wheels over to the Bitta slicks for tomorrow. Get ready and chuck the cross brace in. There's a funny noise coming from the rear quarter still, so gonna jack the car up and try and figure out what's going on there, but might just send it until something bad happens. But we'll have a look anyway, but if we can't find anything, oh well, so be it. Probably see us tomorrow on the track. Beautiful morning here at Morgan Park, isn't it, Dale? Absolutely. Had a nice B&E roll for breakfast. Bloody splendid. Did a few little checks on the vehicles. Took the passenger seats out because that's just added weight. Can't have that. Ready to rumble. We're both in group 9, so that should be a bit of fun. Be on the track together. I could jump the gun on Kale and sandbag him for the whole weekend. Yeah, so he can't get a good time. Anyway, we're out on the track soon, so let's rumble. See how this car goes. Try not to die or break down. killer morning here at Morgan Park. Got the feed cooking. Lovely stuff. We've had our first run of the morning, cold track. Felt bloody amazing, but my car was on half a tank and it started fuel surging. I was trying to calculate it and try and just get the fuel surge and have a nice lightweight fuel tank, but biffed it. Still managed to get 117.2 with fuel surge. I'm hoping the track stays cool enough for run 2 with a full tank now. Put in one good time. I've been doing 17s all weekend. Dipped into a high 16 yesterday once. Got to try and beat that. I want to get a low 16, maybe even a high 15. Just absolute full send, get her done. Would be nice, but for now, quick brekkie break in between runs. Work up the courage. Got to grow some balls, go deeper into every corner, harder through every corner. Oh yeah, balls deep. That's what we need. Anyway, see you out there for the bloody Desperado run. that was a fantastic run, lots of fun. However, we had a delayed start on the track, and so the tyres got a bit cooling on the first lap going into, I can't remember if it was Gumtree or Siberia. You'll see me in the clip look sideways at the mirror for like 3 seconds and go, oh, that's not good. So whichever corner that was, locked up a wheel, had a flat spot the rest of the way. So now I'm switching back onto the Nankangs with a full tank. Also because, huh?
You're on the flat spot.
Yeah, well, you're ruining the surprise. The people have to know, give them what they want, that's it. So I want to do one run on the Nankangs on this track just to see how much time difference there it really is in these tyres. So it'll be like the baseline. But on this last one, suss this. Try that on for size. So the flat spot obviously didn't help, and then it's just fully delaminated. So this set will be going in the bin after this weekend, unfortunately. But they did great a whole weekend. I'm gonna do one last run on the Nankangs and then should be pack up time. But that was a phenomenal run, great run. Well, it was a fantastic end to the racing weekend out at Morgan Park. My GoPro did run out of battery on that last run. I haven't checked the footage yet to see how far through it did cut out, but that was on the Nankangs, which were very slippery compared to the AO50s. So yeah, that was very interesting. And it's also pretty funny. I'm at home now. I've just changed the wheels back over, and the wheel spacer was still clipped onto one of the slick rims. So I've got to figure out which side that came off and bolt that back on. That means I did a whole run and drove home without the spacer. Luckily these wheels clear the brakes regardless of the spacer. But yeah, nah, great weekend. The last run I did on the Nankangs was very slippery compared to, especially because I've been driving on those AO50s all weekend, to then go to a lesser quality tire. I was just, you know, my expectations were above the reality of those tires, so I was pushing it pretty hard, and it was very slippery, very sideways, very fun, but very slow. They were 3 seconds a lap slower. So on the AO50s I was doing 117s consistently around that E track, and then on the Nankangs I was doing 120s every lap. So yeah, 3 seconds a lap just in tires, and those AO50s were nowhere near new or anything. They were very worn, and obviously that one that I flat spotted on the last run did delaminate. So yeah, very, very happy with how the tires held up. Yeah, look at that, not bad. Down to the canvas. Oh, anyway, so yeah. But yeah, great weekend. Car obviously made it home, no dramas, which I'm stoked about as per usual. SR God's motor, absolutely loves a flogging, no dramas at all. Got a few things to do to it now between the next round, like give it a wash because it's filthy already. But yeah, got to do some more things to keep the scrutineers happy, but that's good. That's why we do these things, go have fun, but got to do it all properly and safely. So but yeah, oh, till the next time, eh? Thank you.